This is Gerald, Johan van Was, will demonstrate another word that will express itself in its underlying directions where it is leading our mind towards. And the word that I'm going to express here is Stimme, but also Stimmung. And you shouldn't underestimate actually words, how much they are providing an access point, not just to some references that we associate so that we can uh, go towards a point that expresses this word, as simple as that. But it's even much more deeper than that. It's also like a tool, just like our senses, every of our senses are like a tool. We see these things. It's not just the material world that is opening towards us. It's also an access to whatever that can mean. So we see the things, we hear the things, and the first thing that we do is we orientate ourselves that we know at which place it is. So okay, we know more or less where it is, but it is also an access to what it is and to what it is connected, and the way how it is connected is somewhat in the words. And words are not just focusing upon trying to figure out as quickly as possible to what we can recognize, to what we know, and we fall back onto all the things that we know, the materialistic vision that we need to have something to work with. But everything in between the known and the unknown is described in the same way. So there's this a little bit as this scheme here, that you see that a couple of words we tend to focus mostly on trying to recognize what we know. But that's the first category of words. That's the first starting point of our thinking. We try to start from what we know. That's most easy. Then we can build up a logic and so on. If you want to understand each other, okay, solely basing ourselves upon what we know is not enough. We have to adapt a little bit to the things that we don't know, or that the things that we can still reach. And that's the second third of the options that you have, also with letters. So you have a way that we deal with what we don't know so well. We don't know it, that we don't know it yet. At that point we are communicating. We try to figure out what we can reach, at that point. That's another option of letters as well. So the things that we know are things that we can also visualize, that we can materialize in our mind, let's say. So that's the I. So the first couple of letters are the visualizing materialistic world as we know it, and how we perceive it, and how we understand it, and how we repeat ourselves with it. But in the meanwhile, while we are discovering what we can also reach, what we maybe there are differences, we gradually come to compromises and to have the element of time, that we evolve towards certain things. But there are also a lot of things that we don't really see very well, and it's not just like that. We don't see it very well, but we can still access it, and the accessing towards us is also a possibility. We can open ourselves to things that we don't know yet, the unknown. I compare it to the hearing here. So that means that the hearing is dominant. We hear these things. It's from the hearsay. It is from what we achieve via our ears in the sounds. but we can't grasp it very well, so we can't visualize it very well. So it remains in the unknown. That's the last category. It remains a little bit into the unknown. The last word that I expressed was the word mist, and that visualizes it very well, how we try to perceive the things that we know. So we have in the visualizing thing, we hardly can grasp things. There's a mist hanging there. There's not much of an access to what we can see, but we try to grasp and try to see how much we can grasp and how much we can sharpen our vision so that we can still have some distinction. That was the word mist. And there was already, this is also already about an accessibility and opening our senses. And here it is about the visual senses to what we try to have a distinction there. What in the world of what we see, there is a mist hanging there. It is blurring our vision, it's blurring our mind, but the way that we are already trying to focus upon what we can try to distinct is already in that word, in that mist word, there is already a possibility that we will try to sharpen our focus. Another word that I will have now, instead of that it ends with ST, it will start with ST, and that's the word, there's a German word there, and that's the Stimme. So the S is that actually that unknown area of a beginning that we don't know and an ending that we don't know. It's also all the effects of what we can see, what we can have, everything which is living there is in this case is our starting point, that we try to figure out what it is. And if we do it the other way around, instead of mist, we will have the Stimme. It will come gradually to us. And the letters that we have in Stimme are somewhat in the three categories. We have the distinction of the form with T. We have a development of the full development of the form in M, the double M. We have the E, which is the last category, which is finding out at the end of the cycle that we can have a distinction from things that were previously unknown but can be put back into the system. The S is the last effect of everything that we really can't grasp very well, but it has a place of a context that we can use so that we can have at least an idea where it is, so that we can focus upon it. And the E in the end, that's how the transition, the effect of the transition, let's say. So it is a little bit, let's say, a fight between the unknown and the known, and we try to figure out where can we figure out what it is. What is this Stimme, which means voice? But it's more an abstract word, voice, compared to the English word. Voice is really hearing, like which of or whose voice is, or where does the voice comes from. Stimme, personally, I think it is more a general thing. It's like it's a voice, the voice, a voice. It is. You hear it from it's much more abstract. You don't say it if when you use that word Stimme or voice that you pinpoint to a certain person's. No, it is a voice. It's the abstract thing that you try to hear what it is and try to figure out what it is. So the Stimme will try to find out, in the same way as mist it is, try to find out what we figure out, what we can recognize from it. If we put it onto that system, we have this S at the edges, so the old things that we really don't know where it goes to or where it lands to, that we try to figure out what it is with the T. That's our distinction is immediately put into the system. Put it in with the E. Have it as large. Here the full enlargement of its voice until we recognize what is known. Now here comes the access part. So the understanding of words is not just about materialistic associations alone, that you can simply say, okay, here I have these combinations and it is describing how much I am actually seeing the things or not seeing the things well, or it is describing what it is forming itself or how much I can see it forming. It's also about accessing itself to the to the world, which is beyond actually all these materialistic associations that you can make and say like, okay, it's just a description. It's much more than a description. It's a bit more like tuning in to how well we can see or how well we can hear the things. If with the word Stimme, we also are just like the hearing, the musical hearing. We try to see, yeah to find the match also. So the way how the letters are combined is a kind of balance, and we try to figure out that balance. So in Stimme we also try to figure out what kind of balance do we have and how is it extending and what is it expressing. We're trying to even with the word itself, we're trying to find the tuning into the voice. It's the tuning into the voice. So we hear the message? If we tune in well, if we have a very good tuning fork, if we have the same vibration, if we use the word correctly, it's also actually also getting access to what is beyond it. It is having the right tuning into what is beyond it, so that we can hear better, that can listen better. Did I hear the message of the voice? The is the experience. The T is the distinction. We all having a combination of these access points. And the next word after Stimme is Stimmung. And this is even getting it deeper. Is like you have a Stimmung. We have an atmosphere. We have an what's another association with the word? We have it is not just an atmosphere. It is also we are in the mood for it. We create that mood. It's this musicality of everything which hangs together, and we try to tune into it. We try into the voice that we hear in it. We hear it well, we hear the messages better, and we hear the combinations better, and we understand the things better once we tune in to it well. And that's also behind it, and it takes some time. So you can try to figure out how the combinations of letters are, and you won't figure out much if you don't tune in well enough. It is a language on its own. It's a language which works because it works on different levels. It is like music. You cannot learn either. If you cannot say, okay, these notes work and these notes won't work, or these will create a certain sense. No, you have to have the right balance. Tune into that balance, and then you start to grasp certain combinations. You start to grasp certain associations, and it's the tuning in is more easy. That's why, for instance, certain words, when you translate them into a form, or to translate them with, even with my method, at the end you will understand, okay, that it hangs together. I will get a couple of associations more easily, and this association brings me to, yeah, what reality that has beyond it more easily. And don't think too much of it, but that's the way how it works, because it is part of a natural order that we also tune into, and that's how we tune into these words, because they fit quite well in how we can use them. And that's how these words are even more than what they appear, and even more than what I'm immediately saying with them. I hope that message was clear enough. That's why maybe I would say, okay, just check the movie, The Arrival, as well, because there is a message there which it's not exactly the same thing, but it gets you the message that there are more things beyond it that are immediately reached with it, and once you tune into it, you have the tuning into a lot of things that come together along with it. And maybe I will explain what that can be some other time, but at least I hope I had that match somewhere linked in this video. There's a website too with some other previous videos that you can have a list there at that short URL, and you can subscribe to the YouTube channel if you like. Thanks again for watching. Bye bye.